Okay, guys. Happy Monday before Thanksgiving. I'm like, wait, what holiday is it? Because I feel like everybody's already celebrating Christmas. But yeah, welcome. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. I hope Monday wasn't too much for you. But this is going to be such a good holiday and I'm ready for it and been planning and prepping, and I don't know if you guys have been following along what's going on in Plexus World, but they just dropped the Advent calendar thing today. So if you haven't grabbed your Advent calendar, what it is, it's $35. It's like the 12 days where you like open the little thing and each day there's a different product. Highly encourage you if you can grab one, do it so that in December we can go through the 12 days as a company and start showcasing some products that either people don't know about. There's some skincare in there. I think there's one of the smart snacks. I don't know if that means Plexus is going to be releasing smart snacks as a on its own product, or if it's just a way for us to hype up some of the stuff that's in reset. But either way, they get to try a lot of things. So for current customers, it's great because it would give them a taste of some other products that they may have been wanting to try but didn't want to buy a full set of. Or for inactives to maybe try some things to see if they want to get back on it, or even some new people to basically get to sample a lot of different things before they buy a whole subscription of things. So check that out. Also, the challenge. Jordan, you want to tell them about the challenge that's happening in health, happiness, and financial freedom real quick?
Yes, so it's happening in that group. If you're not in it already, great resource group. Okay, Bubba, I'll be in there in just a second. Puzzles, fascinating things going on in there. Go look at the latest post. It's probably the latest one going on. You were supposed to tag an accountability partner. It is just a way for us to get involved in our culture and our community, bringing along someone, shouting out someone just full of gratitude and to-dos for like the Black Friday deals that are coming out. And then, of course, pushing you to continue in the messaging and following up with your people for the 15% off that ends on Thanksgiving. So yeah, it's a really neat. I'm pretty sure it ends Wednesday, right, Amy? We said it
I
was
don't
only 3 days.
remember.
Yeah, it wasn't super clear, but it's definitely going to be like this week. It's not going to be anything that's going to be super drawn out. So go join it. Go grab someone to do it with you and interact with it because it's been really fun to see.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's we've got some good things going on. And then of course the Black Friday's dropping like Jordan was talking about. So this challenge that Jordan Roddenberry is doing in our health, happiness, and financial freedom is going to be a great way to also set you up to be prepared
Yeah.
to start reaching out for the Black Friday stuff. So if you'll
Yeah.
just do those simple little things each day, it's just going to help you be ready.
For sure. And I do want to encourage y'all. The Black Friday that's coming is not better than the 15% off we have right now. I cannot remember my time being here 5 years in Plexus that we've had 15% off the whole site. So I have been just making sure I'm in conversations and following up. Sorry, following up like crazy because it's such a great deal. Like, people, especially getting bigger packs, are saving like $30. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So there is something coming Black Friday that ends after Thanksgiving, but it's not going to be better than this. So,
Yeah, so if you have people that are on their fence, they're like, oh, I might want to wait for Black Friday, tell them no, you're going to get the better deal now. So just go get your person, hit the rank up, help your people hit the rank up, and just go for it. Okay, I don't want to keep you guys too long tonight, but let me share my screen. All right, can y'all see it? Everybody good? Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about conquering the close. We have gone through a couple of other steps in this process of getting new people and taking you through the process, but closing can be something that is really difficult for people. It's like you get through the conversation, you have all this great stuff, and then like maybe they're ghosting you, or maybe you can't. ever get like a definitive answer and you just feel like you're not getting anywhere, but you've got all these great conversations, but they're not going anywhere. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some great steps to closing, and how to overcome some common objections. Jordan touched a little bit on this last week. So we're going to recap kind of what she talked about and just go through a couple of scenarios. So we have been talking about over the last couple of times, so over the last, I guess, about month or so, we went through prospecting, right? The art of inviting and getting your people in your funnel so that you can get them to the sale. We use the system of compliment, conversation, and connection. And if you remember, that's finding people that are on your social media or maybe that you see in the supermarket, pay them a genuine compliment to open the door to that conversation and then start having a genuine, authentic conversation with that person to the point that leads to being able to connect them with what you do with Plexus. It's not a slimy thing, but genuinely, people are looking for what we have. And this is a great way to get to know people and connect them to this wonderful opportunity that we have. And then we went through presenting, talking about our systems of why, what, who, why we do this, what is Plexus, and who we're looking for, presenting everything that we have, whether it's products or opportunity. And so today that leads us into closing. After we've been through the prospecting, we've gotten them in our funnel, we've gotten them further down the funnel, right? And now we're going to close it and help these people change their lives through the process of recommendation, validation, and enrollment. So, y'all get ready. These are super simple steps, and a lot of it is stuff that you've probably already heard before, but it just kind of helps re-solidify some of the systems that we have. So, we're going to take the next steps to gauge people's interest and get them ready to order and enroll. Okay, so the first step is recommendation. This is where our typical system of our conversation flow comes into place. We go through symptoms, right? We've been through the conversation to get them to the point of interest in Plexus. Now we're going to talk. What kind of symptoms do you deal with regularly? Share the symptoms chart. Are you allergic to any foods? We need to know this because all of our supplements are plant-based and they're all natural. If we have somebody that's allergic to watermelon and you don't know that and you recommend Watermelon Slim, are they going to have a very good experience? Probably not. That actually happened to me, which is one of the reasons I asked this question. I don't think anybody had ever taught me to ask this question, but I had a girl that I started on Triplex. She was feeling great, but she asked me one day, she said, I think there's something wrong. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She said, every time I drink my drink, I start itching. And I was like, why are you like 3 months into this and just now telling me this happens every time you drink your drink, you know? And I said, are you allergic to anything? She's like, yeah, I'm allergic to watermelon. I was like, what are we doing? I needed to know this. So we switched her flavor and she never had that problem again. But y'all, we have stuff that's got shellfish in it. You know, Ease has the lipid mussel in it. And so like if you have people that have shellfish allergies and you recommend Ease, we're going to have problems. We talk about medications, then, you know, are you currently on any medications? We don't want them to have any interactions or what supplements they take with Plexus to hinder the benefits of the medicine that they need. And then what are your goals? You know, I know this can kind of feel like a weird question, um, but it really, to me, says a whole lot when you've gone through symptoms and you're like, oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. They definitely want help with this. And you get through all the stuff and you ask them what their goals are and the things that were big hitters to you, they don't even touch on. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I knew for sure she would want to get that anxiety under control, but she's more worried about her acid reflux, or she's more worried about losing a few pounds or sleeping better at night. So it's just a really important flow to get this down, get these conversations down where it's authentic. Allie actually made this graphic for some new people she was onboarding, and it's just basically our conversation flow, how to keep it authentic and how to remember those steps. So if you need that graphic, let me know and I can drop it in our chat. Okay, so now we've made a recommendation, right? We've gone through all the things. Awesome. Okay, I think you need to have triplex, and vital biome. But let's start with reset, right? You've given a solid product recommendation, and now we're going to talk about validating that recommendation. This is your chance to share some third-party tools to build their belief in what we're talking about. I like to send, like if I'm talking about triplex, I'll send the triplex video so that they can get a very concise breakdown of exactly what it is, what it does in your body, how it works, what you can expect, graphics that explain some of the different products. And this is another great time to share testimonies, pictures of results, before and afters. If you're talking about the skin health, show your before and after in your skin health journey. You used to have horrible breakouts, but look now. And this is just a way that's going to build their belief in what you're telling them, to hopefully get them to the point of feeling confident to buy. Um, so anybody have any questions so far? I love pictures. If you can add them to Gut Health and Happiness, which is our customer resource page. There's tons of testimonies in there, and you can tag them. Sometimes I just screenshot the testimonies, or we'll copy and paste and share the picture. But you can do those any way that is comfortable for you and the person you're talking to.
I have a question on, so say, is that the same for the HHFF? Like, if they're not in that group, can we still, I I've tried to share some of those before, and it's like if they're not in it, then it doesn't share. They can't get in, they
Yeah,
can't click on the link.
Yeah, so with health,
Um,
happiness, and financial freedom, we generally only add people to that one once they become a brand ambassador or they start sharing. They're like, yeah, I want to start my own business. With gut health and happiness, you can add people to that group, whether they're a customer or not, and they can start seeing testimonies. If they're not in the group and you send a link to a testimony, they won't be able to open it until they join. But you can copy and paste the information in the picture or take a screenshot of that
mhm.
in Gut Health and Happiness and send it to them where they can see it. And that works well. Another great idea, too, if they're not in that group, but you want to connect them with a personal testimony. Um, I've even put people in a three-way message with somebody that I know has the same issue. One example I can think of is I had a girl had horrible migraines, and that's not something I can personally relate to, thank the Lord. And so I contacted Taylor Yitzi on our team. She used to have horrible migraines, and Plexus helped solve that for her. And so I actually did a three-way with her and my girl and let Taylor connect with her on that. And so that's another great validating tool that you can use. Use your sponsor or just somebody that you've connected with on our team that you know has a similar testimony to the person that you're talking to. Did that answer your question, Brittany? Awesome. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to create urgency and enroll these people. When I say create urgency, this is where you're trying to get them to just go ahead and make a decision. You've given them all the information, and now it's like you can wait 3 or 4 days and follow up, or you can say, hey, we've given you all this information. We have a 60-day money back guarantee. You really have nothing to lose. Are you ready to give it a try? Is there any other questions I can answer for you? Or like for this month, we're actually having 15% off and free shipping for the next 2 months. Are you ready to just do it? Take advantage of it. I know you may be nervous, but if you don't love it, we've got a 60-day money back guarantee and less than 2% of our product actually gets returned. When would be a good time to get on the phone and get you all set up? It's not a pushy thing. It's like, hey, this is what we have available. I know you may have hesitations, but we have a solution to that too. Um, why wait? You know? Um, and then hopefully they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. And you get them on the phone and you take the next steps. Unfortunately, sometimes that's not the case. And they're like, I don't know. I don't think I can do it right now. And you're like, what? I just gave you great information and you know you need this. Um, but some people are like, I I can't right now because I don't have the money. And this is where you can use the feel, felt, found method to overcoming objections. And this is what Jordan talked about briefly last week. It's saying, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but here's what I found. So in conversation, that would sound something like, I completely understand how you feel. Before I started, I felt the same way. I told my husband, we don't have the money for that. Um, but then I decided that if we were going to actually make the changes we wanted to make in our life, I needed to do something about that. So what we did was we decided to quit eating out 4 times a month. And that money that we would save would pay for our products. And so you're relating to them and they're like, oh, I can see, yeah, that makes sense. Or maybe it's, yeah, I mean, the business sounds great, but I'm too busy. Anybody else in here say that? I did. I told Jordan that like bunch, I think. I completely understand how you feel. I felt the same way. I thought there was no way that I would have time in my day to add one more thing. But if I could show you a way that you could make good money in an hour or less a day, would you be interested in seeing what it's about? And then they have the chance to say yes or no. It's just asking more questions, getting to the bottom of what are they really afraid of something, or they really don't have the money, or they really don't have the time? The more questions you ask, the more you're going to find out about their situation. Have you ever had anybody say, I mean, it all sounds really good, but I just think it's too expensive? I've honestly never had anybody come out straight out and say that. It's usually I just don't have the money. Um, but one way to come across that objection is to say, I understand how you feel. Sometimes it's hard to pull the trigger on stuff that feels expensive. Um, and it may seem like a premium price, but we have premium results. And really, what you would be spending in the day is about the same as a cup of coffee from Starbucks, but you're going to get so much better results. You could spend less at Walmart, but you're going to get Walmart results. Or you could spend a little bit more for a premium product and get the premium results. Don't be afraid to stand up for how great our products are. And you can do it in a way that is completely loving, that is completely understanding, but also educates them just a little bit more and maybe get them to think about this from a different angle than they were before they came to the conversation. Um, how many people have gotten through the end of the conversation and it's, I have to think about it, or I need to talk to my husband? I mean, we talk about everything in my home. So that is like that's a genuine, like, I'm not going to make a big money thing until I have talked to my husband, you know? And, I completely understand. I'm the same way. I'm going to go ahead and send you some information to look over with your husband, but let's go ahead and schedule a time to get on the phone and chat. What time works good for you? And just go ahead and set a plan to have a meeting, because they need to know that it's important to you, and then you also need to put yourself on the line for following up, right? Has anybody ever asked you how much money do you make? Like, just come out. Madeline, it's like, yes. That can be such an uncomfortable thing, and it always shocks me when people have the nerve to just straight ask you that. And if that's something that you're comfortable sharing, then by all means share it. But one way to help people, because that can also be an intimidating thing. You know, if you're like, oh, I make $7,000 a month, and people are like, whoa, I don't know if I could get to that level. Another way to handle that would be, um, you know, in part-time hours, my business has allowed me to send my kids to preschool without taking out a loan. In part-time hours, my business has allowed me to travel more or contribute to my family income or just give more generously. When you can tie what you do to something that brings meaning and value, um, it's going to mean more to them than just like dollar signs, right? Because it starts getting people thinking about, well, where are my gaps? What do I need? How could it help me right now? What need could it meet in my family? Um, and when they start seeing the meaning of that in their own life, it's going to be more powerful than just the dollar sign. Any objection questions before I move on to the next slide? Any common objection you get that you would like to chat about? Okay. All right. You've all heard it said, the fortune truly is in the follow-up. There are going to be times that you've gone through the whole thing, you've done this amazing knockout presentation, you had this Zoom launch and you had all the slides and you gave them samples and you went through the objections and it's still a no. That doesn't mean it's always a no. That usually means it's not right now or I don't have enough information. So this is your opportunity to just follow up, keep building relationship with them, see what's going on in their life. But be genuine and keep saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still ready when you are. And then you can also say, you know what? I know I totally get it. Um, this isn't for everyone. Maybe now's just not the right time for you. But I like to build my business on referrals. And we would be happy to pay you for yours. Who do you know that this would be great for? Don't be afraid to, maybe it's like, I'll give you $20 for that person that you referred. Um, and then they start seeing, oh, well, there's something in it for me. And they keep sending people, then that opens the conversation up. You've helped me help three people. Those are three people that could have made you $300. Are you sure you don't want to do this? You know? So, referrals is something that I am working at getting better at. I think we tend to just like go for the products, go for the business. And when they say no, it's like, oh, okay, we put our head down and we're like, oh, okay, we'll come back later. You know, if they're going to say no, they're probably not going to tell me a friend who needs it, right? But don't be afraid to ask, but offer something to them to make it worth their time. Okay, guys, I know that was super fast and furious. There was a lot in there, but I didn't want to take up too much of your time. And like I said, I know this is all stuff that you have probably heard, but I just wanted to go through this whole system, recap from beginning to end. And if you've missed some of the other steps and you're like, I don't know what she's talking about with the why, what, who, um, we shared the links in the chat. So go back and check those things out so you can get a good picture of what this is like from beginning to end. Because these are systems that you can teach your people and just let this be something that we do with every single person. What kind of questions do you guys have? Anything?
I would love to hear. Um, also, this is my screen just moved. This is my girl Bree. She's on. Hello, hello.
Hi.
But we have been talking a little bit about like when people just stop answering and you've had a conversation and they've been interested and then they just stop. So talk us through, I'd love to hear, Amy, your perspectives on with the follow-up, like when do you follow up, how frequently, and then how to handle the just like silent
Yeah.
response that I have said are so normal,
Yeah.
but I'd love your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's completely normal. I would say, you know, if I've been talking to someone and it's like, I thought we were there, and then they're like disappeared. I've even gone the funny route and been like, oh my gosh, did you get abducted by aliens? You know, or something funny just to get them laughing. Or did I just completely skip? What did I say? Did I have bad breath? You know, or whatever to get them laughing and going, okay, you know what? What I'm doing is actually rude. And this is a real human that I'm talking to. And if that doesn't work, then I usually just let it sit and then find something in their life that's going on and go comment, "Oh my gosh, I saw that your daughter got married. That's so awesome. How was the wedding?" And start a new conversation. Just go back to being a human, and then at some point, it will come back around. It just may take some time. Generally, there's some kind of fear behind all of that. But definitely don't do something that's not your personality. If it completely freaks you out to come up with something funny to say, then don't do that. Maybe just flat out ask them, "Hey, I feel like I may have offended you. If so, I'm completely sorry. Can we go back a few steps and figure out where I can improve?" That's another good genuine way to kind of start over. Jordan, did you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, Brittany, do you have something?
Yeah, I have several people who some of them continue to be product users and some of them just totally ghosted me. So, but
Mm.
I mean, so I have those two sets of people who literally have stopped talking to me. And at first, um, especially the ones who I wasn't able to close, it was like I was embarrassed or I didn't want to bump into them at church or whatever. And I finally, like when I really started believing that I had something good to offer for them, I also just sort of just almost to kill them with kindness. Like I did switch topics and just started like just texting them again about whatever was happening in their life and just
Yeah.
kind of being like, you cannot escape me. I'm still going to be your friend.
Yeah, that's so
and
good.
and
It's only
so
awkward if we make it awkward.
yeah, so
Yes.
but I mean, I was like, oh, and so I did have to get over that. And so now it's almost, I mean, I still hate it. And I'm like, why are these, we just had this such a great thing and then it just fell off the earth. But I have now seen a few people sometimes come back around. It's like whatever they were watching or they whatever they just didn't even want to tell me they had or they got busy and um so I really have had to kind of get used to the idea that it wasn't me necessarily, but
Right.
it there was something else in their life that they didn't want to tell me. And it's okay, but it's just like I just keep being trying to be a friend to them. And then for I mean, I have three people who are still product orderers and they just do not talk to me anymore. And I have asked them like, did I do something to offend you? Have I not been a great coach? What can I'm learning, what can I would love your feedback. Nothing. But they're still ordering. So I just keep sending them follow-ups and little like, if I see something come across that has a third party thing, like I'll send it over, like, hey, I thought about you. So I just would say, I mean, I'm learning to just kind of press through that and not take it personally. But it's
Well,
awkward.
if they're still ordering, that tells me you've done something right. You know,
But it's weird that they
yeah,
don't talk
it
to you
is.
ever again.
But you have to
Right,
realize
it
too
is.
that everybody's not, some people want all the resources, all the links, all the information, all the TLC. They want you checking on them every time you turn around. And then there's other people that are like, "Okay, I'm taking my products. Leave me alone. I've got
Yeah.
this."
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
independent. They don't need you checking up on them. They figured out the website and they're good to go. If they have questions, they'll ask, and
Right.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say you just kind of continue to follow up.
Yeah.
Not in a badgering, like salesy kind of way, but in just a like, well, I'm still gonna be a friend. So
Yes, I agree with all of that. And I think, like to Madeline Riss' question, I think a lot of times, especially at the beginning of our business, when we're like extra, I would say like hyper focused on like how people are thinking about me and how long has it been? Like we put too much emphasis on the timeline, when in reality, those people aren't being like, it was 4 days and she texted me again. Like they're not thinking about how long it's been. And so I like to be straight up, just like they're talking about, like being very genuine and like, hey, you know, following up in a way that either picking up the conversation, or what I love about what's going on right now too with the 15% off is it's like we have a reason to follow up. Like I am literally following up with everyone like I do not want you to miss this before the 27th.
Yeah.
But also saying like Amy was going like backtracking and be like, hey, you have this information, and like straight up saying the objections to them. Like, is it cost right now? Is it you're afraid they're not going to work? Like, walk me through what you're thinking. And I love that question because it opens them up to maybe something you weren't thinking they were thinking. But it's like, walk me through what you're thinking. Like, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. We have all the answers probably to all their objections. And sometimes it is just a time piece. Sometimes
Yeah.
it is just they need more relationship building, and that's okay. After this, I'm going to send screenshots of a friend I'm in conversation with. She didn't ghost me. She keeps texting me back, but it's very just bland, like, yes, that was a great video, or this is so exciting. I'm like, I finally told her, I was like, I do not understand what you're telling me. Like, I need you to tell me how you're feeling about this. Like, I'm an open book. Like, ask me the questions. And ended up being a cost thing for her. Like, she's so interested in the product, but it's a cost thing. And I'm like, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and sometimes, we don't know. People may ghost us because they've decided it's not going to work for them. And it's like Erin and I was helping Erin with her first person that she signed. Whoop, whoop. And Erin was doing great. And we had talked to the lady and she was really interested in the products. And she had mentioned something about a links something and I didn't know what that was. And so Erin sent her sign up link because we just wasn't gelling with times to do it in over the phone. And Erin did a great job following up with her. And then a couple days go by and she hadn't ordered. And Erin's like, hey, did that link work for you? She did a great job. We'll come to find out she hadn't ordered because she was really worried about swallowing the capsules. Well, that procedure that she had done makes it where if she can't swallow something, she ends up throwing it up. And we were like, oh, okay, well, we can switch to just drinks. And so we told her you may not get the same results, but she ordered 2 packs of Slim and is doing 2 Slims a day. So we're gonna see, but it's just she may not have ordered if Erin hadn't followed up because she decided it wasn't gonna help her because she couldn't take the capsules. And so it's just continuing to be genuine, go back, ask questions like Jordan said, and just kind of get in their head a little bit. So, other questions? No? Well, I just appreciate you guys joining us tonight and in all the craziness before the holiday. So thank you. We will meet again next Monday. Is that the first or is that the 30th? I'm not sure.
yeah, it's the first.
Okay.
Should
So
be.
we will be doing
Yep.
all things December at that point.
Yep.
So that's exciting.
That is exciting. I love when it
Yeah.
falls like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
go get your advent calendar, go check out the challenge in health, happiness, and financial freedom, get you an accountability partner, and let's finish this month strong. See who you can help order while they can still get 15% off. So,
Yes, agreed. Bye, guys. Thank you so much, Amy.
love y'all.